Prayer, pledge, prayer, by Katie. Pledge by Mr. Booth.
Let's pray. Heavenly Father, thank you, God, for the opportunity to be here tonight. Pray, God, that you give us great divine wisdom and discernment, Lord, and take care of the monthly business of the board. Thank you, God, for the good things that have happened, Lord, this and even in the last few days. God, we thank you, God, for our children, our students, Lord, our parents and community, Father. We just pray, God, that your watch care will be upon us. Keep our kids and all safe, Father, as we teach them each day. Lord, pray you bless our time of fellowship together. May we do it with professionalism and love. In Jesus' name, amen.
Amen. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic which stands one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Next about the new recognition presentation.
All right, tonight we've got a presentation. If you'll look over here, Sheriff, do you want to start this? I'm going to turn over to Sheriff Buddy Money, and he can let you know our guest, Mr. Jake Laughlin, is here and what he's going to present.
I think it was this past legislative session, the legislative body passed a law to allow cameras to be put up in school districts where schools are, where the school speeding, people speeding through school zones. So I got contacted with Jake Laughlin. He came in and he did a study, and that study is tonight. He's going to present that to you. What I would say is, in law enforcement, we can't be everywhere at once. We have one or two people out on the streets, even though we have one at each school. They're not out there enforcing the speeding laws, so we can't be everywhere at once. Our main goal is to get people to slow down. Some of you may look at this and say, well, we're looking at this, you're looking at only the money. The money's got to pay. The goal is to get them to reduce their speed. So over time, this will be the end result, at least for the residents of our county. I don't know if we can say about anybody trying to improve. But our goal is to get people to slow down so we don't have an accident where a child or an individual gets hurt. That has happened in other parts of the state, in other states throughout this country. It happens all the time. And I'm sure they have some type of speed device. Somebody's always going to be speeding. But if we can deter or we can slow them down, that is the end goal of this whole program that we're trying to do. I think Mr. Jake Laughlin, when he presents his slide presentation, I think if you all would look at it, ask any questions you want. And we'll do the best we can, even do the answer. And again, I think when he talks to you and he explains how this program works, it's beneficial to the residents of Liberty County to get people to slow down. That's the whole. And last thing we want is somebody to get hurt or injured or killed. And then we go back and we say, well, we've done this, maybe this would not happen. So I encourage you to ask questions. Don't hesitate to do that. No question is a silly question. Be free to ask any question. I think Jake will answer any of it, and we'll do the best we can. This time, I'd like to turn it over to State Law.
Sure. Thank you very much for having me tonight. Like Sheriff Cummings said, my name is Jake Laughlin, and I'm with a company called Ultimate. And I appreciate the opportunity.
If you want to move over, if you want to say, if you want to.
But I appreciate the opportunity to be here tonight. I told Sheriff Money this is the first time I've at least presented it to the school board. And back many moons ago, I might have been forced to address and I would do it, but not in my corporate career. But anyway, I appreciate the opportunity tonight. So as Sheriff Money mentioned, back in July, House Bill 657 was passed and signed into law by Governor DeSantis. And what this did is it legalized the use of automated school zone speed enforcement in the state of Florida. Just some little details about the bill is that it's only for citations. Citations can only be written for speeds of 11 miles an hour or more. So it's a situation where you're going to, anyone that's speeding 3, 4, 5 miles an hour over the speed limit, this is strictly 11 miles an hour or more over the speed limit. A local ordinance is required. And the penalty is a civil penalty. So it doesn't count towards your record, or it doesn't add points to your insurance, but it's $100. Of that $100, there's a breakdown. $60 of that 100 goes to the sheriff's office. 5 goes to a school crossing guard program. From what I understand, Sheriff Money, they do not have a school crossing guard program, so that's a way to build up some money to put towards that. Maybe get some more men and women on the force to take those roles. $12 goes to the school district, 3 to FDLE, and 20 to the Department of Road. In the event that people decide not to pay, it turns into a uniform traffic citation that's handled in that process. So a little bit about us. So we were founded, we've been around since 2005, headquartered out of Maryland. However, I'm somewhat local. I live in Atlanta, so I get to come down here. It's about a 5-hour drive, not too bad. In addition to speed enforcement, we also do red light cameras, which I know everybody loves. I don't think you have to worry about that, since I don't think there's a single, was there a flashing yellow light in Liberty County?
Yeah, one red.
One red light.
One red, soon to have 2, one off.
You just did good for
Didn't go right out. So you obviously don't have to worry about that, but one of the newest things that we've added to our portfolio is school bus stop arm cameras. So in the event that, I'm pretty sure we talked about it, you don't think you have much of a problem in that arena, but should you ever decide that, hey, you've got a lot of, believe it or not, there are issues with people literally passing school buses while the stop arm is down. We have cameras that can do the same thing, take pictures and send citations for people committing those offenses as well. I'm going to try to be mindful of time, so that's just that's kind of the nuts and bolts of kind of who we are. A little bit about our automated photo speed enforcement. So it's everything. So once the cameras are installed, we handle literally everything from capturing the speeding vehicles to processing the violations, the agency of record. So in this situation, it'd be the Liberty County Sheriff's Office. They have a portal that they can log in, view the citations, make sure everything's accurate, and then it comes to us and we process it, and the citations are mailed. We collect the payment, and then the funds are distributed accordingly. Pretty automated process. This is an example of what the agency sees. So when they log in, they have various views of different pictures of the vehicle, speed, license plate, and so forth. So it's very secure and user friendly. Beyond that, we can provide reporting, client training support, and the most important part is the court and adjudication support. So we've got a court module. We'll help you set up and get the court system set up, and so they have all the technology and the tools necessary for going through the process. Things that we're gonna, and again, I'm gonna try to go through this as quickly as I can, but things that to consider in a program is the speed studies, contract, the technology, and then the details on the costs and the revenue as well. So first thing that we do, which Sheriff Money alluded to, is that we do speed studies. So we will come in and put in devices at all of your schools for 48 hours and do what we call speed studies. And then we will go over those results with you. Contract ordinance preparation. So we've signed, we were actually the first company to sign a contract since that law went into effect. So if y'all know how far is Eustis from here? Eustis was the first contract signed in the state, but we can provide copies of ordinances and contracts for you for the county to look at when it comes to that time. Technology, so we've got various types of cameras. We've got cameras so the Silverhawk is for 1 and 2 lane roads. Blackhawk is for 2 to 4, number of lanes, 2 to 5 lanes. Dragon, the Dragon Cam is handheld, and then we've got trailers, school bus stop arm, and the Red Hawk is for, red light cameras. We have, one of the partnerships that I want to highlight tonight because, is Flock Safety. That was actually, I worked at Flock before coming to Ultimate, and Sheriff Money and the Sheriff's Office have, how many do you have currently?
Only got 2 right now.
But it's the Flock, the license plate reading cameras. We have a partnership with Flock in that when an agency comes on board with us, depending on the number of cameras, speed cameras, we'll give you, on a 1-to-1 ratio, we'll give you a Flock camera. So in this instance, with the 4 schools here, it's about, I think it's a total of 9 cameras. We will throw in 9 Flock cameras that can be installed anywhere.
Let me touch on that. What Flock cameras do is they set up on it and they capture all the information cars going through. So if we have a robbery in one place and the camera is there, and they come through, we capture that car. If somebody said, look, it was a black Chevrolet truck, we don't know the tag number, it's a 4-door. Well, in all black truck, we can pull that up and get that, and we can track it down. It's just another tool that we can use to help solve crime. In Bay County, got over 100 of them down there. Franklin County, I think they're gonna wind up having 20 and 30. So a lot of places are going to them because it's another way of helping solve crime. We can't be everywhere at once. And they're a great use because it helped us out here on Highway 20. The problem is somebody cut down the Flock cam twice.
And didn't you say that there was an instance where someone recently went missing?
Yes, in which we would have been, we're still working on that missing lane, so Calvin would have had a lot more, we'd have had a lot more, maybe we could have had a little bit better understanding of her travels throughout the period of time. Maybe give us some additional information, you know, who to go to interview. But we've interviewed, probably 12, 14 people so far, we've got some more than we still have no sheets.
One of the things about the Flock cameras, our cameras are strictly there to monitor the speeds, right? So it does take a picture of the car and the tag, but with the Flock cameras on top of that, you can set it up for alerts, especially with schools. You're probably worried about sex offenders, missing children, Amber alerts. So it gives the sheriff's office the ability to give alerts on all different types of crimes and vehicles as well. So there's no cost for the Flock cameras. So we will cover the costs of the Flock cameras over the course of the contract terms. So we'll cover the installation and you basically, we're just throwing those in and it's not going to cost a penny. For us, it's a violator funded program. So it does not cost the county a dime to put our cameras in. The way we are compensated and for us to make the money back, obviously we're putting a lot of money in the infrastructure, putting cameras in, and then what we do is we do a revenue share on the citation. So we take a small chunk of that citation revenue. In the first slide, when the sheriff in the county got 60, so we would get a portion of that. That's how we get our money. But either way, there's no upfront costs, and even if the violations go to 0, which is obviously that's the goal, it still doesn't cost a dime. This is really important here. There's no cost of termination. The goal for any of these programs is for the program to not be needed anymore. I mean, the goal is for this to slow people down. So in our contract, if it gets to the point, if you're 2-3 years into a contract, and the speeding has gotten to a point where you don't need the system anymore, you just call us and we'll come pick up everything, and there's no penalties for terminating early. So the speed results. So studies were completed in August and October. And the assumptions is we looked at the calendar for the school year so that we could determine when we were doing the projections. We used the county school calendar for 20 22, 23, wait. I'm sorry, 24. Can't see. For the 23. Hosford, so Hosford, I think, is the one that has 2 roads. So the first study was done on State Road 20. And you'll see that over the course of 2 days, there were a total of, so we had 640 violations during school hours. So flashing hours are when the yellow lights are flashing in the mornings and the afternoons. What I call school hours are the hours in between, for a total of 1,225 violations.
And what that is, when the light's not flashing, you know, it's on 20, they're off 45 miles an hour. They didn't catch them until 11 miles an hour over that. So they were traveling 56 miles an hour going through Hopkins. Or more.
Right, and that's where this next slide, you'll see over here on the left is that the highest speeds measured, you had 79 miles an hour at 2:52 p.m. So somebody went flying through there doing almost 80 miles an hour while school was still in session. And then this is 65. We had fewer violations. We had a total of 148, but still violations are violations.
It's close to.
There's one stop there.
Is this the one that's right by the?
Right from the high school, where 65 comes into 20 with flashing
Yeah.
lights.
Okay. But we still had somebody going, what was the speed limit here is?
Right there's 35.
35, we had somebody going 57. So still, that's pretty significant. But when you look at the projections, when we project, we use an 80% degradation, okay? So historically, what we have seen is that when we launch a program, that's probably something I should have mentioned. So the program is broken down into different components. So once the cameras are in, we do a public awareness and education campaign. Okay, so we'll work with you on Facebook, social media, radio, TV, whatever. However you want to advertise this and get the information out to the public, we'll work with you on campaigns for that. Then 30 days prior to the program kicking off, we do what's called a 30-day warning program, where the cameras are working and they're sending citations, but they're just warning citations. So they're not collecting any money, they're not asked to pay, it's strictly a warning. And then at the end of that 30-day warning period is when the actual program starts. And then lastly, and this is per the law, is that there will be signage at every school zone warning people, just like you've seen it probably in some cities with the red light cameras. It will tell you that it's a photo enforced zone. So between all of that being considered, by the time it's time to start mailing citations, historically we see an 80% drop. Okay, so these numbers that you're seeing up here, in terms of the projections, this is considering or 80% degradation is applied. So we've taken 80% of citations away, and this is still what you're looking at on a monthly basis. Does that make sense? Yes, sir. So right here, projected total revenue for just Hosford Elementary is $2.3 million in ticket revenue. Again, it's not about the money, it is about school safety. But that's a part of this that we can't not look at, is the revenue from the number of citations. So we've got the Learning Center on Florida 20 as well. We had 573 total, 105 during school hours, and the flashing light hours is what amazes me. When that's higher, that's a serious problem, because that's when people are walking across and kids are getting out of cars. It's a problem. And we had a top speed of 76 miles an hour. Now, keep in mind, that's at 11 o'clock, or that's at 8 p.m., but during school hours, 62. what was the speed limit? And
35.
a 35. Yeah, so almost double. But projected total violations for the learning center is just over 20,000. And about 900,000 in revenue. The high school on County Road 12. We had 483 citations. I'm sorry, violations. And looks like top speed of 79 and school hours at 67.
But Sheriff, didn't you tell me we couldn't do it there until
Yeah,
we get
you're
ready?
not gonna take that until those lights are set up properly,
Schools on lights.
they get thrown out of court.
Yeah.
But he did a study just to show that even with the light flashing, nobody pays attention.
Yeah, I mean, the goal of the speed studies is determined if you have a problem. Because if there's not a problem, right, it doesn't warrant the program, you know. We do have some situations where, I mean, some districts, or cities, counties, they'll put them in just as a precautionary measure, but usually you want to determine if there's a problem. Let's see, for Toller, we had about 228 citations, I'm sorry, I keep saying citations, violations. Projections over the year, over a school year is probably around 8,000. And about almost 400 in revenue. Combined, so you're talking all 4 schools, if we're projecting, using an 80% degradation, you're still looking at almost just under 100,000 citations a year. Which is it's jaw dropping. That is assuming an 80% degradation as well.
I would imagine the hospital would probably go down on the red lines.
Well, the other thing with 65 there, you got one car, deputy car with the lights on. So a lot of times when you see it, you'll slow down, same thing you're told. Now, the other part of that is when the lights are not flashing. And speed limit's 35, people still speed.
I think Oxford is the one where we only looked at 3. You've got 2 zones.
Yeah.
But we only put in, we assumed only 3 cameras. Because you've got that one zone that goes all the way up to the main highway, no one's gonna be able to speed. Right. But coming the other direction, so there's just 1 camera on that road.
On the south side.
Yeah, coming to 20.
My understanding is you can't get a ticket if it ain't the yellow light flashing. I've had numerous people, companies calling me about this, even put the cameras on the buses. It has to be flashing to get the ticket. Has to be during the school zone.
I think that the House bill, I don't know that I'm sorry, I'm going back. I don't think
What you're saying is you can't use the school zone to be a ticket factory.
That's right.
When the
Unless it's during the-
It's only during those flashing.
take in and let out.
Yes, but with the House bill, with House Bill 657, they've added that you have that, it's at your discretion, but you can. During school hours, but it goes back up to the normal speed limit.
Right.
But you're saying you can still ride, you can still ride a ticket.
Not what I've been told.
When did that legislation? Was it?
Don't it go 20 miles an hour?
He's saying that's new, it just went into effect.
I know, I've had a bunch of companies.
Since then,
It was 35.
And they want to put them on all the cameras on the buses.
I know we've talked about the buses.
Yeah, so if on a normal day, if while they're flashing, it's 15, when they're not flashing, it goes back to 30. That means you have to be going 41 miles an hour during, at noon to get a ticket.
But you can use, but if it's non-school hours. and the speed limit's 35 miles an hour.
The cameras
And
on.
somebody, they're gonna pick them up, cause they're not gonna stop just because it's not school. Hours,
You
right?
go 80 if it's not school hours.
Yeah.
As far as they're concerned, that's what it
They're
should.
only gonna
That's
go.
what I'm saying, but they still got jurisdiction, they still could write a ticket.
Yeah, that's right, they can come down.
Right, that's what I'm saying.
They can, yeah.
They can, yeah.
Yeah, okay,
But
so you're saying at 8 o'clock at night, or let's say midnight.
will we all use their program to write tickets? That's the question. That are during school hours, or will this program be
No,
used
what-
only for school hours?
I want to talk about it on for school hours, anything after school, when the school gets out,
As a sheriff,
well, we're gonna write a ticket on.
if, according to what he's got on camera, or according to what your deputies see.
Well,
You're gonna use this system, Sheriff.
well, first of all, the county has to pass an ordinance. County pass ordinance and we go with it, then it'll be set up for those hours that is operational by state statute. Now, anytime after that, those hours, we write a ticket anytime we want, we write a ticket anytime we want during school hours.
Not off the camera.
So not only is this,
Not
No,
off
no,
their
you're not
program.
doing anything like
Okay.
all that.
That's
Oh, you're
what-
not using, so
Y'all,
y'all,
they do everything,
It's,
they capture
He
everything, they
won't
send
look
the
at
ticket, we
those,
don't
he
send the
won't
ticket.
look at that camera and say, well, it wasn't school hours, I'm gonna send them a ticket.
Right.
Because I noticed
I
some of your now, though, was after hours, middle.
yeah, and that's, yeah, so we, for what, when we do a speed study, we want to just show you everything, right? So if we showed you that 11:55 PM, somebody was doing 87, that's just information that.
That would include in the revenue estimate.
No,
Okay, I didn't know if you
Yeah.
included that.
no.
Those
We only-
hours, his camera only works when the lights are flashing, and when the last lights are in, it ain't on that time. Now, anytime during that time period, the camera can catch you speeding and.
So your position, Sheriff, is after, end of the afternoon, we're not writing tickets with those machines.
No,
Yeah, you're not allowed to.
not
Not
allowed.
allowed to, okay. Just.
This is just-
I got it. Yeah.
Oh, but when does the light start flashing? Let's say, seven o'clock in the morning, when does it end that afternoon?
3:30.
it varies on what school we call.
Well, I'm just saying, Hopper, so if it ends at 3:30, that ticket ends from these cameras at 3:30, they don't write another ticket after that.
Still 7:18 and 8.
Right. And anytime that you're off on any type of planning day or whatever, they'll be plugged in and it won't send you tickets.
Well, let us be changed on holidays, let us be, it's the same time change and other things.
Yeah, so that's, no, I love this, okay, these are great questions. So it's all automated, so when you have a teacher workday, or it's a half school, half day of school, all of that is, you have account managers, and we are able to go in and make changes to the system to make sure that it's updated and it's corresponding to holidays, work days.
Our school hours is daily.
Correct. And our cameras, one of the things I should have mentioned is that our cameras also, somehow, don't ask, I'm not a techie, but we're able to determine when the lights are not flashing. Using our cameras, our camera sees so if the lights stop flashing when they're not supposed to, we notify,
Good.
you know.
I was gonna ask that question.
If your system writes a ticket, all of our lights are antiquated. I've been fighting this deal since I got here. They're old. If we have a thunderstorm come through town, all of a sudden they start flashing. They flash on the weekend sometime. Well, if that zone is activated and it's not school hours or whatever, and your camera picks it up, they say it's flashing 20 miles an hour and it writes a bunch of tickets. What do these people have to do to rectify that ticket?
It won't.
Yeah,
They're
they'll
gonna
have
program
this
it in
little-
on all your items. It's
Yeah.
school's operation.
They'll have our school calendar.
If my light malfunction, does it work off of my light?
During school,
It don't work off my light.
But it'll tell you if your light is not working.
Right.
It only records, they'll have, so to speak, school calendar in their program. And it's not school right here.
Yeah.
And it won't reflect on the line.
That won't totally work either, because if that light's not flashing, you legally can't write them a ticket.
Right, but that's when they let it know it's not flash.
Right.
The one in Austin-
That's what I was trying, to say.
I think we need to caveat. There's probably gonna be some bugs, and I'm
Yes.
sure you guys have worked on this long enough to know that there's gonna be bugs and there's gonna be light out there, you know, block. There's gonna be things like that.
That is what the review
But
process.
what you also said in your presentation is if there becomes a conflict or there becomes, you know, with the law or with the judge or judicial system, you guys can handle this. You are handling this.
Yes.
The sheriff does not have to go and fight this out with somebody in a court to say, hey, well, the light was flashing, well, it wasn't flashing.
We have
You do that.
technical specialists. I'm not a technical specialist, but we have someone that when the court sessions are held. We have a representative that will be here, believe it or not, that will be here to answer questions, and they're basically a representative, I don't know the legal.
They'll probably explain how this ticket is issued, and what means it is, and how it works and all that.
And answer any technical questions and.
Well, I'd also like our attorney to kind of hop in here and you see any legal factors that.
Well, as far as when it can run, the statute says exactly you can operate for 30 minutes before the regular program, 30 minutes before, during the break, all that. But these aren't handled by county court. Liberty County will have to have a special magistrate to hear these. Who we pay $200 an hour
Yeah.
to hear all these disputes, right? Because we actually have to administratively handle everything.
The school was in charge.
Which now, it's nice when you take a speeding ticket, you dump it in the county court system and they handle everything, but we would.
Yeah, you know, I'm glad you brought that up. We write a ticket. We get $12.50 out, of it, which we cannot use except for communication. When I approached that with the Florida Sheriff's Association, they sent me a list of people who get money out of all these tickets. And I said, well, they don't do none of the work, we do the work, and yet we get the least amount. So. I don't care whether I take it or not, to be honest with you, but we don't get any revenue out of it.
No, I know, and I understand that. What I'm saying is we would have to, county will have to administer this program and have its own hearing officer.
That's right.
It's administer and do annual reports. Do you generate these annual reports that I'm asking Mr. Do you generate the annual reports that that the county files with the state? And then the funds that the sheriff gets is supposed to be set up to administer a school crossing guard program, right?
Not all of
No,
it.
not all of it, but one specific one, you know. $5.
Not all of us actually violate.
Yeah, that's actually,
The sheriff's office gets 60.
Crossing guards.
yeah, so that'll bring me to this next slide.
I want to tag on that question, Ms. Shooter. So when you were saying about the magistrate, that's, for example, I get a ticket, they write me a ticket, and I go, I wasn't speeding, and I wanna agree that, you're saying that somebody, would it be the county or the school's gotta hire the magistrate here? Not the school, the county would have to do that, it wouldn't come before the local officials.
No, it wouldn't come before a court officer, I mean, it wouldn't come before.
We come before the county judge. Well, the county judge now hears all the speeding things.
Right, so,
So it would or wouldn't?
I mean, I
Well,
would,
right now, the county judge hears all the speeding tickets. With this, from what I'm listening to you, it'd be a magistrate that would have to be hired to do that.
That's what I was told on the road violations. It's our responsibility, like he's talking about, to get this handled with the county, and then somebody's gotta be hired to handle it. Whether it be with the county.
the county would have to, the school board.
The school has no,
Right,
they have no problem.
So.
He's giving you all this, so we make.
Right, so when you go, you're speaking to us before you're going to the county commissioners. So when it gets in front of the county commissioners and they say, what's this going, you know, cause you do think, well, what's it gonna cost the county?
Yes, but I mean, maybe the tickets would be generated.
Way
For
outnumbered.
administrative.
Well, you know, we're all talking about the money, so we're gonna talk about the money, let's talk about the money. They ain't enough money to go around this county to handle what we need. County commissioner's not gonna do anything to raise money to bring in the money. Costs keep going up every year. We bring in almost $2 million in the sheriff's office on grants and other means, which we only get a little over 2 million from the county. If you wipe that whole grants and agreements off, we're gonna lose 16 people right off the bat. Now, you tell me where we're gonna get 16 people to run the jail and run this county. I said, so I'm tired of people worried about the cost of money, when I worry about it every single day. I go with Brett and I said, Brett, where are we at on our money? He said, right, he said, we can't spend any more. So now I gotta tell everybody, don't spend no money. I do this on a constant basis to try to make it through every single year. This program here is gonna bring money in the beginning and then slowly it'll go away. But what is our ultimate goal is to keep somebody from getting killed or injured. That's our whole goal. But when it comes down to the cost of things, the county has always worried about cost. They always talk about cost, but they won't do anything to bring money in. I don't know of anybody who set up a committee that said, let's try to get industry to come into this county. And I'm telling y'all right now, and you can tell me I'm laughing, but one day somebody's gonna come in there after I'm dead and gone, and they're gonna buy 100 acres of land, and they're gonna put, 400 homes on it. And you all ain't gonna have a say. And you can sit there and say the county can do it, but I'm telling you now, when you have multimillionaires come up and they fight for it, they got more money than the county's got by far. By far. I've been around the state attorney's office on trying to work with them so we don't get sued. I do that on a cost basis. Large counties don't give a rat's butt about it. They go and arrest whoever they want, they get sued in court, they got the money, they pay for it. We don't have the money. So, ladies and gentlemen, what we're trying to do here is bring a program in that will reduce the speed. I see speed all the time. I live on Highway 12. I hear them about a house 60, 70 miles an hour. I hear it all the time. I tell our deputies, you can't tell me there's nobody speeding in this county. And they are. While I said in the office, we had 6 traffic stops within 10 minutes.
And
We got no problem. We got.
Sheriff, I don't think there's a board member here that's not on the same page with you. But we all do know how it works.
Oh,
because your next stop is the county commissioners she wears 2 hats here, you know that. So she's sitting here, go ahead and set the stage for what, the questions that are gonna be asked. But I'm just thinking, if we're potentially going to generate as a county this much money, I don't think $200 to fight, and you're gonna come in and help as well for the contract. I mean, it sounds like a win-win to me. I think, yeah, there's gonna be little things that's gonna have to be worked out. Every time you get a contract.
And let's say one more thing. When I worked at Girl Games, I was on the. We would work, there were certain places in Games we would work. We would write 30 tickets in a 2-hour period. 30 tickets. After a week's time, everybody's nobody's making that illegal right turn. They're making the right turn. We come back 2 months later, we write 40 more tickets. Come back 2 months later, write 40 more tickets. So it never stops. You think you gotta stop? Well, it don't. Same thing as speed when I was down there. We write 16, 18 tickets in 30 minutes. Well, we work it again, wouldn't get anybody. 3 weeks later, we work it, get the same amount. Don't have to write it. Don't have to write it. Don't care what nobody says, it's gonna happen. We're all creatures of habit. You don't see anybody, you won't speak.
I got a question. Is that it? Talking about having to pay a magistrate, that's only if somebody challenges this. And I know it's gonna happen a bunch, but what percentage of the people would you say, just to educate a guess, if you don't have a real number, just pay the fine? I mean, it's $100 citation. What percentage of the people just send the money in and you don't hear a word?
80%.
80%. So it's not like every ticket's gonna be challenged. So
And if it does, you're gonna have about 20, 30 people in court. You're gonna have one person.
do them all.
The day that I went up to, in Georgia, I went to the Bartow County when they launched their program. And had their first court session. And there were probably 5 people there. And the judge threw out the first 3. One woman stood up and just said, I wasn't driving. The judge said, okay. Does he do that every time? I have no idea. You know, yeah, that's the one thing that people say, you know, we can't prove that I was driving. Sheriff and I were talking about this before earlier this afternoon. My philosophy, I've never been, I mean, yes, I may sound biased because I work for a company that does this, but 20 years ago, living in Atlanta, I got a red light camera ticket. I just paid it. I knew I ran the red light. I don't think I remember that I knew that there was a camera there, but when I got the ticket, I was like, oh yeah, that was that morning. And I just paid it. I didn't, but that's just me. I've never been one to tee off on an officer when he pulled me over for speeding, because I was speeding, right? It's polarizing. You've got some people that are for it. You've got some people that are against it. The way I look at it, honestly, I mean, and I'll just be frankly honest with you. That day in Bartow County when I was in court and there were people in there and the judge said, all right, the fees, you know, it's $125. Are you prepared to pay? And the number of people that said no. Broke my heart. Yeah. But there are people out there who can't pay $100 speeding ticket. And we think we got problems, you know? The reality is, were they speeding? Yeah. But I'm just being honest. It's at the end of the day, you know, what I get out of this is that it saves lives. You know, you can. There's like I said, there's all types of opinions on it, but the data and the stats and everything prove that it does slow people down. You're gonna have people that love it. You're gonna have people that hate it. Usually the people that hate it are the ones that got dinged.
Well, I got a question. Earlier, it showed up there, paid $100 within 30 days. Or it does, because it's just a citation. After 30 days, they turn them to
Uniform traffic.
traffic citation. So that would go for the judge. If they don't pay it, why are you having to get a magistrate?
Well, so how do you handle uniform traffic?
The county judge handles that.
Yeah.
So that's making me wonder why we would be having to get a magistrate. If they don't pay within 30 days, it becomes a uniform traffic citation, which will go in front of the judge.
If they dispute it, it goes to a local hearing officer.
But they have to do that within 30 days.
Just tell them not to dispute it until 30 days. Just don't pay your fine. Yeah, they don't dispute it, just don't pay it. I guess that would be illegal.
No, I'm just,
If they don't dispute it, then it goes to the county court.
Well, I would say if we go turn it into a uniform traffic ticket.
Yeah.
Then it goes on your record and you
Yeah.
get points, and it's
So
probably, it's even more expensive.
Yeah. And that's really negative for them to not pay it.
But in Tennessee, if you don't pay it, there's no recourse. And the tickets are only $50. And there's no recourse. And when you got a congressman getting on YouTube and burning his traffic citation and saying to the entire state, don't pay, it's red light tickets, but yeah, there's no recourse. So some people will pay and some people won't, depending on how in the know they are.
And I've got a question, you get like paying thing. We get all these cameras installed or whatever, and you brought up, there's no cost to terminate this program. Is there any cost for us to keep the program? It's already installed, why would we want to remove it?
Well, I mean, not unless the county changes its mind,
Well,
or unless somebody thinks, hey, it's not profitable, we're going.
well, and that's what I was wanting to say.
We won what we wanted to do, was slow people down.
Would it be like you said? 30 days from now, here to go back, oh, yeah, so why would we want to try?
I don't know that we have ever,
terminated?
I can tell you that Tallahassee, it wasn't us, we weren't the vendor. But they had a red light program for, I know that I think they ended it in 2018 or 15. Because it had just run its course. And I think they were on a model that was where they were having to pay a monthly fee.
Yeah.
And that was offset by the ticket revenue. And when the red light tickets, the citations stopped coming in, then they were still having to pay that monthly fee.
That's what I was wondering, if there was any kind of fee that was tied to this.
We have two fee models. We have a fixed fee like that, and then we have strictly rev share. And when the sheriff and I met the first time, he was not comfortable, nor are any people comfortable with that fixed fee.
Yeah.
And so, the model that we used for this presentation is strictly rev share. So there's there's zero cost.
Will this include upgrades? I mean, you guys come in when the cameras need upgrading and replacing and all, so you guys do all of that?
Yeah.
Okay.
So these are the annual revenue projections based on, now these are projections. But I mean, for the purposes of this meeting, I look at the school district. That's an 80% pay rate and an 80% degradation. So that's assuming that the numbers go down 80% of the violations cease. And this is still based on the numbers.
So Sheriff, what would you need from the school board? I know you've got to go to the county. Are you just showing this to us and giving us a heads
First of all,
up?
this all has to do with the school system, so
Right.
we thought, let's bring it to the school system first, because it's gotta deal with the school system. If every one of you up here said, we don't want it. What do you think?
But we don't have to.
No, you don't have to understand it.
Approved.
But you
But
don't.
I know the county commission's gonna talk to somebody,
I got you.
and they're gonna ask you, so it's up to you whether you want it or not. I mean, we just, it deals with your school.
Yeah,
You're gonna be the one getting the calls, and then eventually the calls go to the county commissioner once they find out. But, it deals with the school system, so that's why we said, well, let's bring it for the school board, even though you all don't have a vote on it. At least we wanted to share the information with you and see what your thoughts are, and let you ask any questions you want.
We appreciate that.
I would say-
And if I sound a little over, because I'm passionate on a lot of things, and I get passionate a lot, because, I see the cost order. My finance officer sat down through 2 4-hour courses because the federal government made FDLE tell us, you got to do all this for the grants. We never had to do this before. But that's when I say things keep coming down the pipe and we have no control, that's just one. Now, he took 8 hours to do these stupid things that we've never done before, because some idiot up there wanted to do it. So 8 hours that he couldn't work on books or anything else, which is sad, stupid. But that's what we did. So I get passionate because we only got so much money, trust me, we make it spend. We spread it.
We're permitting with unsigned mandates.
I know y'all.
Yeah.
I know y'all.
Very permitting.
I have y'all. But you deal with it just like I do. Anyway, I just get passionate.
Send it to the county, and I think we on board with you here.
I look at it. Like the state of Alabama. Red light cameras and speed cameras like this are legal anywhere. So it's not just limited to school zones. Georgia and Florida, same thing, both are legal, but in Georgia and Florida, the automated speed enforcement is only legal in school zones. I'm, again, biased, whatever, but I tend to like that model better. Because
You need somewhere to test drive a truck.
well, I'm just saying, I can see more people getting up in arms about being able to look anywhere. You limit it to school zones. I mean,
And personally, I'm in favor to do anything that helps our law enforcement, because, and I mean, with the school, this is great. But our law enforcement, their focus used to be, oh, I'm gonna get stopped by the law, speeding. Their focus has completely turned. I mean, not only are they worried about break-ins and domestic violence and the drugs, I mean, probably number one, but anything that we can do to help them, and I mean, I don't know why we wouldn't do it. It seems like a no-brainer to me, but as far as the schools and keeping our kids safe, and I don't have a problem with it at all.
I know that,
I might be the first one to get started.
I don't know of any schools in this area, but I know that in Clearwater, a couple of years ago, they had a crossing guard killed. I think Crestview may have had a close call, almost, but, at the end of the day, our goal with this is to help save lives. Yes, there is that revenue component, which you cannot avoid, but at the end of the day, I like it because he's underserved, understaffed. And anything else. So. That's really it. We just, like you said, like Derek Money said, we just wanted an opportunity to kind of show you the basics of it, answer questions, and then we'll do our 2-a-day training, get ready to present to the county.
Well, we appreciate y'all sharing it with us.
I didn't mean to consume so much time, so.
We're sorry.
Sheriff, thank you so much. Thank you so much.
If you want me to send you.
That presentation was great. Can you email it to Kyle, and Kyle can get it to us?
Yeah, or I think I emailed it to you.
Awesome, thank you.
Okay.
Thank you so much.
I think I have. Or so if any of y'all have any questions. I'll just take my cards. Okay. I just want to say one other thing, this maybe morning, but I'm an Eagle Scout. I went to West Point, I was in the Army. My boys are in Scouts, and every time I'm in a situation like this where you say a prayer and you say what I believe is, I just get the shakes. So
We're gonna do those two things.
Yeah.
Good Lord, come back.
Just made my.
Drive safe, don't be speeding.
Yeah, that's right. Don't become
Moving right along.
Actually.
Moving right on to item number 3, public comments. We didn't have any. Moving on to item 4, superintendent's report, Ms. Petty.
I'll make this very brief. Thank you, Mr. Chair. Yesterday, and I sent out Parent Square today, school grades, and were released yesterday. You may have thought, well, I thought we already did it, but it did. But this was based on the first year testing that we did last year. So they're referring to these grades as informational baseline grades. Okay, so they did that, and then they'll use that for growth for this year's testing. And so based on last year's grades and scores with the new material, we continue to be an A school district. There was some changes in the schools, but again, we're held harmless. This does not change. It's just for what they call again the baseline. It moved Toller to an A, Hosmer to B, high school from an A to a B. But as far as a district, those B's were high enough for us to still be an A district. Very proud of that. That's just a wonderful thing. Proud of staff, student, parents, and all, obviously the board for the success that we're seeing in our schools. So we want to be data driven. And obviously, that's a big deal for the rest of the state, and we look at that stuff, we don't just collect it, we look at it, try to make adjustments as needed. Tonight at 6:30, there's a program at Oxford, I was thinking we might make that, but I sent Hillary a text and said I won't be able to. Number 3, we're waiting for our legislative appropriation request to get numbered. I had a panic attack the other day. Chris Doolin had sent out, had a list of all the appropriation requests, and I clicked on it and I didn't see us anywhere. And I just about had, it was a meltdown, so I called Patrick Hill and I said, where in the world is our appropriation request? He said, you would not believe how many have come in, so they have to number them. And they'll sign the number, and then they give you a attestation form, and you do that. So it's in the, if you go to the House, Jason Choate don't have any in there. So, but Lord knows there's it seems like 9,000 others already in there. This is going to be it's election year, so everybody's asking. But we're just waiting on that to get numbered. And so he said, everybody's good. We called, everybody's got it. It's just waiting to be numbered and returned to us. I'll go ahead. I know we have on the agenda to review that. So if I can cover that now, we'll just you can say that, Mr. Chair, but, a couple of y'all will remember, I know Jody and Jason were at our DAC meeting last Thursday. This is our strategic plan. Most of this is already in place. It's already been approved in the past. I've added some things in there in yellow highlight. And again, this is big picture stuff. This is not going to say the toilet needs fixing or grass needs cutting, some of those smaller things that are handled by maintenance or anything, or school fence sharpener don't work. It's really big item areas or big areas. It does not have to be limited to this. This is not a be all end all. It's not in concrete. What I would like y'all to do, and I asked the DAC committee last Thursday, which was comprised of teachers, parents, students, look through this. If there are some things you would like to see added on that, let's get back together, just review it, maybe over the holidays, and then maybe January, we can talk about it, maybe even have a workshop. This is one of the recommendations from our PAGA review, is that we get a lot more people involved on it. It is my job statutorily to recommend policy to the board, but stuff like this needs to be a joint effort as far as what we feel like the vision, because y'all create the vision and the framework and infrastructure for what we do in the county. So I want to make sure that this is not just me running the ship, it's us collaborating together. And that was one of the recommendations from our PAGA review, is that we get DAC involved and get y'all involved. So at this time, I'm not asking y'all to take any action on it. I'm asking y'all just to look at it, review it. And if y'all like the workshop, we can kind of talk about that. One thing I can tell you right off the top, I'd love to do is rewrite our mission and vision. They're too long. When I worked for Donnie Red down at the camp, we were kind of required to memorize mission and vision. That way, if somebody from the state come in, that was one of the things. What's your mission statement here? We were able to memorize that because it was short enough. I think Wakulla, their mission is to produce lifelong learners or something. I mean, it's like a 1-sentence thing. I'm not saying it needs to be that small, but I love what we have on there. I just wonder sometimes how many people really know what it says. And I want our employees to know what our mission and vision is, and be able to communicate that if somebody comes in and asks, especially parents. That's a big deal. So if y'all will look at that, review it. I'll be back in touch with you after the holidays, and then maybe we can kind of craft that what we want it to look like. Let's see, right on here. Number 5, Teacher of the Year, Employee of the Year lunch. It'll be Thursday, 11:30. You're invited to come. 6, we got our first home wrestling match for Liberty County High School to be at the high school gym. That Thursday at 5 o'clock. So if you'd like to be a part of history, that'll be happening. We're playing, not playing. We're competing against Blue Ball. District office party. Obviously, want y'all to be a part of that. If you're in town on Friday at 10 o'clock, I think we're doing finger foods and snacks. So, I mean, obviously, if you want to bring ribs, we'll eat that too. So early release day on Friday. So all the kids get out early, and we always let the staff leave after the last kid leaves as well. So anyway, Merry Christmas. Love y'all. Hope you have a great time this holiday season with your family. Any questions? All right, Mr. Chair.
Move right along to item number 5, addition correction to the agenda. Need a motion to item A, addition correction to consent item A, B, and D. Have a motion?
Motion.
Motion, Ms. Jody, second.
Second.
Second, Mr. Singletary, any discussion? All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries. Next item B, need a motion to add emergency item 10A. Have a motion?
Motion.
Motion, Mr. Flowers, second, Mr. Singletary, any discussion? All in favor say aye. Any opposed? Next item C, need a motion to approve the agenda for December 12th, 2023. Have a motion?
Motion.
Motion, Mr. Moore, second.
Second.
Second, Ms. Jody, any discussion? All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries. Item 7. Item 8, we need a motion to approve November 16, 2023 organizational regular meeting minutes. Have a motion?
Motion.
Motion, Mr. Secretary, second.
Second.
Second, Ms. Flowers, any discussion? All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries. Next item 8, consent item. Item A, need a motion to approve the following November 2023 financial report and transaction. Principal report, financial report, we didn't have no budget amendments, bills and payroll, corrected hospital reconciliation of October. Have a motion?
Motion.
Motion, Ms. Jody, second.
Second.
Second, Mr. Moore, any discussion? All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carried. Next item B, need a motion to approve December 23 personnel consent table with additions and corrections. Motion?
Motion.
Motion is Singletary, second.
Second.
Second, Mr. Flowers, any discussion? All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries. Next item C, need a motion to approve December 2023 out of field teachers. Have a motion?
Motion.
Motion, Mr. Flowers, second.
Second.
Second, Ms. Jody, any discussion? All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries. Item D. Need a motion to approve December 2023 updated sublist with additions and corrections. Have a motion?
Motion.
Motion, Mr. Moore, second.
Second.
Second, Mr. Singletary, any discussion? All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries. Next item 9, action item, item A, need a motion to approve youth mental health awareness and training. FYMHAT, FDOE, project award notification programs, period is, 07/14/23 to 06/30/24. Have a motion?
Motion.
Mr. Flowers, second, Ms. Jody, any discussion? All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carried. Next item B. Need a motion to approve 5-year inspection agreement between Advanced Fire Protection Service Incorporated, AFPS, and the Liberty County School Board for Services at Liberty County High School. Have a motion?
Motion.
Motion, Mr. Flowers, second, Mr. Singletary. Any discussion?
Yeah, Mr. Chairman. We get this, it's a 5-year plan, but every time we turn around, it's back up there.
But that one was never done. We done one for Hosford, so we had to, they brought us up for that, so we had to do one for the high school. That's where you're seeing that one.
Okay. Thank you.
So there's one at Hosford and high school. And by law, we had to have that.
So we're gonna have them up here too?
That's-
Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carried. Item C, need a motion to approve Advanced Fire Protection Services Incorporated AFPS System Monitoring Agreement providing wireless cellular monitoring for a 5-year term at Liberty County High School. Motion.
Motion.
Motion, Mr. Flowers, second.
Second.
Second, Ms. Jody. Any discussion? All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carried. Next item D. Need a motion to approve State of Florida Division of Administrative Hearing, Administrative Law Judge Services Contract Amendment 1. Have a motion?
Motion.
Motion is Singletary, second.
Second.
Second is Jody. Any discussion? All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? We
We've reviewed it.
yeah, we reviewed E, so we move right along to F. Need a motion to approve recommendation of Jacob Reed as classroom teacher to provide math intervention after school to secondary students and algebra and/or geometry to be paid from grant 1211R beginning January 2nd, 2024 through June 30th, 2024. Have a motion?
Motion.
Motion, Ms. Singletary.
No, sir.
Jody, then second, Ms. Singletary.
No, me.
Me, Luke. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carried. Next item G. Need a motion to approve recommendation of Lisa O'Brien as supervisor OPS high school students to be paid from grant 936030 beginning December 5th. Motion. Motion Singletary, second. Second, Mr. Flowers, any discussion? All opposed say aye. Any opposed? Motion carries. Next item H, need a motion to approve the following OPS high school students to tutor 1-to-1 using science and reading strategies doing the after-school program beginning January 24th and ending April 2024. April Flower, Rachel Glisson, Mamie Hall, Allison Lang, Laney Lang, Ella Petty, and Alon Petty. I have a motion.
Motion.
Mr. Moore, second.
Second.
Second, Ms. Singletary, any discussion? All in favor say aye. Any opposed? Motion carries. Next item I, need a motion to approve the mentor teacher recommendation to Sherry Flowers and Hannah Greenridge at W.R. Toller School. Motion. Motion, Ms. Singletary, second.
Second.
Second, Ms. Jody, any discussion? All in favor say aye. Any opposed? Motion carries. Next item 10, emergent items. Item A, need a motion to approve the idea of Part B, K-12 entitlement FDOE project award notification program. Period is 7/1/23 to the 6/30/24. Have a motion?
Motion.
Motion, Mr. Moore, second. Second, Mr. Flowers, any discussion? All in favor say aye. Any opposed? Motion carries. Next is board member policy. Need a motion to approve second reading of Newton County School Board Policy Updates, Special Updates, September 2023 JS. Have a motion? Motion is Singletary, second Mr. Flower. Any discussion? All in favor say aye. Any opposed? Motion carries. Next is item B. Need a motion to approve second reading of Newton County School Board Policy Update, District September update. Have a motion? Motion, Mr. Flower, second. Second, Mr. Moore. Any discussion? All in favor say aye. Any opposed? Motion carries. Next item 12. Board member term, Mr. Flower.
Merry Christmas.
Thank you.
Won't be all y'all back after Christmas.
Thank you, Mr. Flower. Ms. Jody.
Thank you, Mandy, for getting all these done. I know this was something you were working on and trying to get these students rounded up. Great job, and thanks for getting in front of us. I'm reaching out to Kyle already about the softball complex and the well, you know, kind of getting behind the 8 ball a little bit now. So just, I'll do the best I can, guys, and I know everybody else is too, trying to move this thing along. So we need that softball complex pretty bad. Hope everybody has a Merry Christmas and a Happy New Year, and I hope every little kid gets everything they want for Christmas. Thank y'all.
They poured the concrete in the morning at 7 o'clock. Supposed to be.
I just sent him a text, so I'm like, what happened, you know?
Yeah, they couldn't get it. They couldn't get it.
Okay. Thank you.
All I got, Merry Christmas, Happy New Year, and just to let you know, we're doing a fundraiser, beer festival, both Lane Friday for the Ellison family, and also I think September August. Get a chance to run by and holler at us, appreciate it. When's that? Friday, that's right.
Hey, let's not, forget, we're sitting with,
PM.
Hi.
Yeah.
How come not? Is that amazing? Congratulations, I'm really proud of you.
Thank you.
Take more candy next time.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Oh, I'm good. Merry Christmas, everybody. Happy New Year.
Thank you. Mr. Moore.
Same here, Merry Christmas, everybody have a safe holiday. Don't do like Kyle, eat too much, so.
I'm gonna do that.
Thank you, buddy.
Thank y'all.
We didn't have any closing comment. Item 14, need a motion to adjourn. Motion by Jody, second. Second, Mr. Moore. Meeting now adjourned.